Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? I am loving life really here on YouTube. I am a full-time reseller on eBay Poshmark. I do dabble a little bit in Macari, and I'm also I do auctions on Whatnot and Poshmark. Kids clothes. I've been diving into some plus size pieces, some jewelry pieces, just having a lot of fun with just playing around with different lives and selling things on lives as well. If you are new here, I would love to say welcome to my channel. If you're new to reselling and you're kind of beginning your journey as a reseller, I would love to say welcome to the community. I will say this in every video that we do this. This is a great time, you guys, to be a reseller. It really is. This is our weekly reseller chat. And we have some videos that I've been watching, just things that I've been thinking about based on some last videos that we've been doing and also just changes with reselling and everything. I came up with some things that I'd like to talk to y'all about and also sharing some tips with y'all that I've recently learned that you guys might benefit from. So as always, stay tuned for some great topics. Okay guys, so I want to talk about, there's been a lot of discussion about people not getting sales. And I think it's kind of one of those really important topics because we're here to make money, right? And if people aren't getting sales, figuring out what's causing us not to get sales. Is it the economy? Is it platforms updating and changing? Is it the prices of goodwill? Is it, I mean, who knows how many different factors there are in not making sales. But I do think there are other possible factors we haven't discussed, and I'd like to share a few of those things with you right now. But one of them, before we get to that, let's do an update. Our week's been going by really well. I almost always forget to do the life update. Things are going well. We had some slower days of sales. We are making sales, especially on my lives. Between Whatnot Poshmark, it has been kind of helping save sales this last month because it has been a slower month in sales for us on other platforms. Things do have, we have really good days where we sell several pieces, and we have some days we sell one or two pieces, and then we also have been selling things in our lives. I think my month is going to probably kind of average out to roughly about what we had been doing. I'm not going to do a best month this month, and that's okay. But we are looking at what's causing that. Is it something that I'm listing? We should always be re-examining each month to make things better, right? So just continuing to move forward with that. I am still listing 10 items a day, fresh new items a day, starting on eBay, cross-posting on Poshmark, sometimes cross-listing on Kiddas and Mercari, as well as doing my lives. Y'all know I'm doing lives every night for kids clothes, and like I said, I've been interjecting even some plus sizes, some jewelry. That's a very recent thing. Also did a plus size show on Poshmark last week, so just kind of just trying out different things, you know. Okay, so I am looking at, I was watching a video the other day today about listing up on eBay. Now, if you don't list on eBay, you don't have to worry about this, but this is something that I've been wondering about because a lot of people do list on eBay, and if you are one of those people, you know, you can do the thing where you actually end listings where they actually end on eBay, and then you can go back through and relist those items, and we're wondering if that actually triggers the algorithm versus just letting the listing end and just listing fresh new items, right? Just letting that listing end and go on. I was watching a video, and he actually, with his group, he actually had them test this out. So I thought I'd share this with you. He said that when you end that listing yourself, don't let eBay end it. You end the listing yourself. So actually go onto the listings, and if you have listings that are ending that day, you actually click on those listings and you end them yourself. And then you can go through and relist the same item. He said on eBay, there's actually the on eBay's history, it actually notes that this listing has already been live. So it does relist the item, but it doesn't show in your listings that this is a fresh new listing, which I thought it did. And he said that they actually tested this, and it doesn't show that it's a fresh new listing because eBay does recognize these are the same photos, it's the same listing, it's the same description. So it will relist it for you, but it's not going to show as a fresh listing. So what he encourages after doing this test, he actually had some people in his group test this out. Instead of relisting those items, they just let the eBay just redo the listing and just continue it like eBay usually does. And they would rather actually list new listings that day and have fresh photos, fresh description, a fresh brand new listing that day for the algorithm than relisting items that are actually ending. He said it actually is better for you because not only are you getting fresh new listings up, but it kicks the algorithm that you have new listings up. So I thought I'd share that with you. I don't end my listings anymore on eBay. I used to, thinking that it would help on top of my fresh listings, but now I just let the listings on eBay just re-kick as eBay already re-kicks it. And then I just add my new listings on a daily basis and do it that way. I don't end my listings that are about ready to expire and relist them. I just let them kick over and let eBay do it. So I thought that was really interesting that they actually tested that out. I'm sharing this with you because this is new information to me. I thought maybe it would try to help the algorithm, but I don't necessarily know that it does. And I agree with him that I'd actually rather list fresh new listings than go through the whole process of relisting listings. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather list fresh new listings. I really would. Okay. He mentioned something too, and I think this is definitely something to make note of. A lot of us have listings that are from fall and winter in our eBay store, or Poshmark store, or Mercari store, wherever it is we're listing, right? When you go in the spring and summer season and those items haven't sold, depending on how many spring and summer items you've actually listed, I think this is really important to note, especially for this time of year. If you've only listed a handful of spring and summer listings, and you have a lot of fall and winter listings that are still active, if you don't have, say you have like 20% spring and summer and 75% fall and winter listings that are still active, hopefully you're going to sell those spring and summer listings. But if you've noticed a slowdown in your listings, he said it could be that a big majority of what you have in your closets or stores are fall and winter. They're off-season listings compared to the current spring and summer listings. And I know that some people do spring and summer listings, and since fall and winter is a bigger part of the year than spring and summer, I think, I just think the short season is a shorter season than like coats, warmer pieces, sweaters. I mean, people buy sweaters in fall and winter. And people also buy sweaters in springtime. I have noticed that people have been buying sweaters and jackets from me in the springtime. I have sold some shorts and things like that, but I think, honestly, when you get closer to the summer season is when you see more of that. So even a little bit into the spring season, people still buy fall pieces. So I think that fall pieces, the warmer pieces, kind of transition pieces, are more apt to sell 3/4 of the year than just summer pieces. I'm not saying that I have any stats on this, but when he mentioned this, it kind of made me think, shorts do only sell maybe a couple months out of the year because that's when people use them, right? Even in springtime, around here, people are wearing shorts, but it's only because we're like a few weeks away from summer. But we've still been having some of the chillier weather and people haven't been wearing shorts yet. So I got to thinking, I thought that's actually a true statement, that even though we're in spring, people are still wearing their transition pieces, which is still jeans and maybe crop pants or something. Guys are still wearing jeans. They don't wear shorts just yet. Unless you have somebody who's a guy that wears shorts all year round. So I wanted us to make note of this, that maybe a lot of the majority of what we have in our closets and our stores are those fall, winter, or transition pieces compared to spring and summer. So my point is that could be affecting the slower sales, right? If you have most of what's in your store is fall, winter, like 75% of your store is fall, winter, and maybe the last few weeks, couple months, you've been listing spring and summer, but you still have a lot of majority of fall, winter, your sales might be slower due to the fact that you have less items for the upcoming season than the previous season. I hope that makes sense. And it kind of made me think about it too. And I hope that helps us. I just thought it was really something to note because I didn't think about it until he said something in the video I was watching. I thought, that makes a lot of sense actually. And I never thought about it until he said something. Okay. Now I have a question for y'all. Based on topic in conversation in a lot of videos that I watch. There's a couple people that I've watched videos on that literally just list on one platform. They have the theory that if you list just multiple things on one platform, you'll make multiple sales on that one platform and kick the algorithm. Then I watch other people who feel that there's a theory that if you list your items on more than one platform, and you list, say you list 10 items a day, you list those 10 items a day on multiple platforms. Say you're on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. You listed 10 items a day, okay? Say you list them and you start out and you do cross-post them on Mercari and Poshmark, or whether you start on Poshmark, list on eBay and Mercari, however you do that, but you list every single one of those 10 items on all 3 platforms. Do you feel like listing on one platform, listing more items on one platform is better than listing items on 3 different platforms and cross-listing them? I'm really curious because there's a lot of hearsay about this, and I honestly don't know which one's better. I do think there's benefits to listing more items on one platform, but then there are benefits on listing all those items on multiple platforms, getting eyes on multiple platforms. I haven't seen one way or the other which one works better. I know some people are very adamant that one platform is the best because you make more sales, but I also know that people who list on multiple platforms can make good sales too. I haven't seen stats one way or the other whether it works better one way or the other, but I would really love to know in the comments down below your thoughts. Is it better to list 10, 15, 20 items a day on one platform, or list 10 items a day on multiple platforms and getting in front of other eyes? I think it also matters on the platforms you list on too. We all know that eBay's huge. eBay's been around for a very long time, is very well known. Poshmark has been around for a while now too, is actually quite well known. Mercari's definitely around, but not as many people list on Mercari. So my question is if you were to list on 2 platforms and cross-post on more than one platform, which ones would it be? And if you do list on Mercari, do you get sales on Mercari that makes it worth it listing on Mercari? Or is it better to list more items on Poshmark and eBay on a daily basis and get more sales on both those platforms? I'm really curious what your thoughts are on this, because I have, like I said, watched videos, Instagram people talk about it, and I'm curious what y'all think. Is it better, like I said, to list 15, 20 items a day on 1 or 2 platforms, or list 10 items on 3 or 4 different platforms or more? Tell me in the chat below what you think of that idea. I would really, really love to hear it. I've gone back and forth in my mind thinking I should just stick with eBay, and then no, Poshmark is doing good for me now. I'm doing lives on Poshmark, lives on whatnot. I mean, it's just hard to say which one's better. Okay. This is a really good question that came up in the video I was watching. When we talk about the items that we're listing, and this is going to be based on my next thing, okay? Do you use filler items? Let's say filler items are like less than $20, like $15 or less, $15 to $20, filler items. Do you use filler items or focus on 20 profit plus items? So once your fees on Poshmark and eBay, your COG and all that, 20 profit in your bank account. Do you list just 20 profit in your bank account items, or do you list those items plus filler items to keep the algorithm going and also to keep listings going? One of the reasons why I asked this, I think it also depends on your strategy. So let's talk about this. Not everybody has the ability to source on a daily basis at thrift stores. It really depends if you have a full-time job, have full-time kids at home. There's so many different scenarios. Not everybody has the chance to go out sourcing every day and find items, and maybe you don't have those good items in your thrift stores on a daily basis either, which is something he talked about for him. He was actually talking about like a route for himself in different stores. You know, he could just go to one store and pick up, 50 items or whatever he picks up. But whether they're quality items that give you that $20 profit on each item, and do you have enough time to do that? So my question is, what is your strategy in sourcing? We all know a lot of people do online sourcing, but if you do online sourcing, we do know then not in every box is every item going to be equal as far as profit compared to other items. So then you have what we call, like we were talking about, the filler items, where you have something that might sell for maybe just double your money, and you flush it through, and then you have other items that are going to do really well, and they're going to like more than double, triple your money, even more than that on items on a box. So there really is, again, talking about how you source. And again, you have some items that will come in a box that you maybe even can't list at all because of flaws or whatever. There's so many different ways to look at the strategy of sourcing. This particular gentleman that I'm talking about does not source online in liquidation boxes. He does source liquidation in bulk because he's a massive live reseller. Massive live reseller. Does lots and lots of lives. He does very well with it. But he's also looking at turning and rotating really fast. And then he talked about how he's actually listing on Poshmark. He can't sell on eBay anymore right now. So he's actually listing his high-end pieces on just Poshmark. So there's a lot of different ways to strategize. I've actually been tweaking and changing some of my strategy too. I'm doing lives, but some of my kids' pieces that I know I could sell for more than what I want to get on live, if it's a nicer brand, maybe the piece is a bigger piece and I can get more on it on my actual seller platforms. I've actually been listing those on my other platforms to get more money because I'm here to make money. And then the items that I know that will do well in auction, I auction them off and give people a good deal on the auctions and still double, triple my money or whatever and make money on those auction pieces. So I'm curious, what is your strategy? Do you have filler pieces, or do you take time to actually source the 20 profit plus items in your strategy? I honestly think a lot of people, especially with the amount of cost for thrift store items, and the fact that people are really busy and they don't always have time to source, I really think a lot of us in our category where we do have the below 20 item pieces where they're filler pieces, and then we also have the really nice end pieces that we sell as well. Tell me in the comments below if you have to do filler, do a lot online sourcing and thrift store, or how you do that. Right now, y'all know I do a lot of online sourcing. I also do garage sale sourcing right now, and we do thrift store sourcing when we are able to do that. For me, I would rather be listing more pieces and sourcing home and making money that way than travel time. Because some of you have local stores. For me, we have to travel a bit to do that. So again, that depends on your strategy. So it really, there's so many different variables to filler items in our stores. And again, are they seasonal or off-season, like we were just talking about? Okay, and then we talked a little bit about this in our last, in my liquidation video. If you haven't yet watched my liquidation video, do go watch that. I do feel that there was a lot of good things in there. Things that I learned not to do, things that I learned to do, and I think there's a lot of great things in there. So do feel free to go watch that. We talked about your max COG. Your max COG for your items that are over $20, your high-end pieces, and your max COG for like less than $20 selling pieces. I really think it's important to know what your max COG is for your lower-end items and your max COG for your higher-end items, so you're not going above what is good for your business model. And I'm not sure that a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people just pick things up and they hope that they sell. I don't think that's a good business strategy. I think a lot of people lose money when they do that. And I've learned from that mistake. I'm a lot more particular, even when I get my boxes in, about what I list. I usually do list just about everything in my box if it doesn't have a flaw, because I want to make as much money back on that box. Now, if I'm only going to make a couple dollars over my COG, then I might just like auction it or something. But most of what I've gotten in my boxes, I can either double or triple my money on it or more, or at least make my money back to at least process it and not lose out on the item in my box if it's a lower end piece. But I'm also really particular about the boxes that I pick up when I do online sourcing, as you all have seen from my videos. I am very particular. If I have to just pass on the box, I just don't pick the box up. Either the items are too low for me and I don't want to worry about not getting enough money for them, or if the COG is too high, I just don't buy it because it's not good for my business model. So I really think, again, strategizing how you're going to accommodate, whether you're sourcing online or in stores, If you have filler items or really high-end items, there's a lot of different strategy involved in sourcing for businesses. And again, do you cross-list to multiple items on multiple platforms, or you just list on one platform, and that works really well for you, just building that up. Okay, let's talk about one more thing that he mentioned in a video I was watching today that I think is a really, really good thing to talk about. And this is really important, y'all. Is this business kind of like a play around business for you? Kind of like a part-time, you're just like, you kick around a few things, you sell a few things here and there. And if you do, that's so great. I mean, I'm not knocking that at all. I apologize if I come across that I'm knocking that, and I'm not. I apologize if I did that. But if this is something where you just you're kicking it around, you sell a few things just because it's kind of a fun side hustle, that is so cool. I think this is a great way for you to definitely have a side hustle, make it a part-time income, to supplement your income if you work full-time. I think that's amazing that you picked reselling to do that. I really do. I think that's amazing. If you really enjoy your job and what you're doing, you just need a little bit of extra income, this is a great business to do that for, okay? Then there are others of us who are working part-time, pursuing full-time. Some of you even commented in the video comments that we're working towards actually wanting to leave a job and work full-time. Then there are some of you who can't really do that right now. You have to have a job, so you still do it as a part-time side income. There's so many variables. But what I want to talk about is lifetime goals. Whether you're part-time or full-time, is this a lifetime commitment for you to be a reseller? Whether you're part-time or full-time. Part-time and you have a full-time job, you really like your job, but you want to supplement and you want that to be a lifetime thing for you while you're enjoying your full-time job that you love. Or you're working full-time and you would love to pursue reselling as a lifetime commitment. I know my husband and I, this is what we do. We've been talking a lot about in the last couple of months about where we would like our business to be in the next 5 or 10 years. Neither my husband and I like having a job. We've done jobs. We don't like jobs. We're just not job people. We like knowing that we are in control of how much money we make. We don't have somebody else telling us, okay, you can only make this much because this is what I'm telling you, you are qualified to make in my company. We also like to know when we want to take vacations or trips. We want to know that if we choose to make more, we can figure out how to make more in our business. And in a job, you cap out at jobs. Okay, there's just what it is. You can only cap out at jobs. Even if you work at a job for 20 years, you eventually cap out, y'all. Okay, it just is what it is with the job. The only way that you don't cap out is if you own your own business and you find ways to increase your revenue in your job and expand out in your services, or how you do your services to hopefully make more money in a business. Okay, but again, that's owning your business. That's not working for a boss. So my husband and I love what we do, and we're constantly talking about how we can change things, make more money, improve. And even this is something that we can pass on to our kids. If something were to happen to one of us or both of us and we pass away, this is something we'd like to be able to pass on to our kids, that maybe if one of them is interested, they can take on reselling. It can be a generational thing. Yes, you can do that. And you can build it up to where you even have family working together and have it be a family generation thing, where maybe you don't hire employees, but if you have kids that eventually want to come on board with you, it can be a family affair, and you guys all work together and take a cut, right? If you build it big enough, they can be your employees, and you can work it out that way. There's so many different ways you guys can do this. So what I'm talking about is lifetime goals. Is this something that maybe you're only doing for a few years because you just kind of want to try it out? Or is this something you know you really like doing, and this could be a really good long-term thing for you, and you want to do this for the next 10, 20 years? I know some people on YouTube who've been doing eBay for like 20, 30 years, guys, 10 years. This is like a long-term, this is what they do for a living, and this is it. They do very well, and they're very good at it. They figured out their niche. They figured out what they do, okay? So is this a lifetime thing for you, or is this a short-term thing for you? Now let's talk about one more thing. While I was talking about that, I was thinking about another topic I did want to discuss, but I forgot to write it down. When we resell, Do you find it's good to have all kinds of things that you can resell on eBay or Poshmark? I'm talking about kids' clothes, women's clothes, men's clothes, home goods, jewelry. Do you sell all different kinds of things? Or do you just have like a niche, like where you have, say, clothing? You only have different kinds of clothing. Maybe you just sell plus size. Maybe you just sell women's clothing. You sell all different kinds of women's clothing. Maybe you just sell men's clothing. You sell all different kinds of men's clothing. Do you sell hard goods and clothing? Do you sell women's clothing and kids' clothing only? Do you have certain couple niches that you sell in? Or are you open to whatever sells that you can make a profit on? And you sell hard goods, clothing, jewelry. You sell all kinds of things. I know you can do that on eBay. I'm curious, are you open to just niching down to just a couple things and just doing those things? Because I know some people do that, especially on eBay. Or do you sell anything that makes a profit and you can source well, good cog, good profit, and you just sell a lot of things? I'm curious in the comments below, you guys, how you sell. Do you have a niche selling? Or do you sell anything and everything? Or are you kind of between niche selling where you just sell a few things and a lot of things? Do you just kind of have like an in-between that you sell? I would love to know in the comments below what's working for you, or if you're trying to vamp into something that they're testing out to see if it works for you. I love to know in the comments below how you guys do that. Some even just sell on Spotify, and is it Spotify? Like they have a little store. I know another couple, I've mentioned her to you on my YouTube videos a couple times. Her and her husband actually started on Poshmark and all those places. Then they opened a Shopify store, and now they literally buy bulk of goods through liquidation, and they literally just sell through their Shopify store, and they do eBay, they do YouTube auctions, and they do very well with that. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. I would love to know, what are your future goals? If you are a lifer and you have a future goal of being a lifetime reseller, how are you going to accomplish that? Do you actually want to open your own store, like storefront? Do you want to do auctions on your own YouTube video? Do you want to be able to just, how are you going to do that? There's so many variables to be a reseller. So many different options available to people. It's one of the things I love about reselling. There's such a variety of how you can resell. Oh my goodness, so many options to be a business owner reselling. So I hope that this was quite a different topic of conversation, right? But I think it's really important to think about what we have in our listings. And if maybe what we have in our listings, maybe we're not making as many sales because we have a lot of seasonal things and we're not in that season. Or, consistency, guys, consistency in listing. That was another thing this gentleman talked about on his video that I just watched. People want to complain about how they're not making sales, but I'm going to be really honest. If you're not consistently listing on a daily basis, you're not going to have good sales. Let's just be really honest about this, guys. If you're not listing at least 5 listings a day, fresh, brand new listings a day on Poshmark or eBay or wherever it is, it affects how many sales you make. And I know it does because I've been watching some videos of some people that haven't had consistent listings, and it's affecting their sales. They've actually commented how I'm not listing, it's affecting my sales. They're very honest about it. And people have also noticed that if they're in groups, like somebody who has like a big group that they work with, and that like this guy that I was talking about, they know that if you're not listing on a daily basis, it is going to affect your sales. So are we listing on a daily basis? So let's talk about our goals this week, guys. If you've been struggling to list at least 5 listings, brand new listings a day, let's figure out how we can make sure that you can do that. And maybe finding simpler listings to do. Maybe hiring somebody in your family to do a certain aspect. Or if you have a spouse or your kids that can do certain aspects of your business that work well for you, maybe you can pay them a little bit. I don't know what works. But find a way to make at least 5 fresh new listings every single day on your platforms this next week so that you can really start jamming it and making things happen. And now that we're almost a month away from summertime, guys, we're a month away from summer. Make sure you're listing your spring and summer pieces. And keep doing that all the way through summertime. And then halfway through summer, start listing your fall pieces. I'm already incorporating fall pieces in my kids' auctions because moms are already asking me for jeans, sweatshirts, jackets. I'm already selling those in my auctions, you guys, because some moms are already preparing for the fall season for the kids' clothes for next school year. I know our school already ended here. They ended last Friday. So they're already in summer. And then they started back up again in mid-August. Some states, they don't end until like the third week of June, and they start the day after Labor Day. We're not like that here. So depending on what state you live in and how they run the schools, some moms are already starting to prep. They've already got their summer stuff for the kids, or they're doing last minute shopping for summer stuff, and they're already mentally thinking in the next month or so preparing for fall pieces. So make sure if you are listing summer stuff, already preparing for fall season, because unfortunately we're already approaching that. If you haven't listed summer stuff, I definitely think get it on there. Get it on there right now, because a lot of summer stuff is selling. Okay, my goal this week, I'm already selling, I do list my 10 items a day. I do that first thing in the morning. Usually by late morning, early afternoon, my listings are all up and ready to go. And I've either already cross-posted or I'm going to be cross-posting. And then afternoon, I work on YouTube. Since I'm doing lives every night, I'm prepping for that. And also getting my housework done. So things are going really well here. I am debating about buying another Quick Lots box. I want some fresh, new, higher-end pieces. So I am contemplating buying another box, maybe in the next couple weeks. I still have inventory that I'm working on listing, so I really don't want to do that until I have this inventory listed. And since I am listing some of my kids' pieces, I want to make sure that inventory is ready to go. And I've been doing different Poshmark sales, different Poshmark lives. I'm still doing my kids' Poshmark lives, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I'm contemplating doing some other Posh lives. Like I said, I did a women's plus size. I'm going to be doing more of those because I do have plus size women's clothes. All my men's plus size is all listed on my platform. So if you're looking for men's plus size, do feel free to check out my eBay store first. So go check that out if you're looking for plus size for anybody. And then I also have some spring and summer men's pieces that I'm going to start listing this week and next week. So if you're looking for men's spring and summer pieces, I will have more of those going up and listing. So yeah, just going to be focusing on that, and again, my YouTube and all that. So guys, I'm so excited to hear your comments about how you're strategizing in your closets. I would love to hear about cross-posting or just listing on my platform. You know, your filler items, how you're sourcing. Are most of your items in your closet fall and winter and just a few spring and summer? Maybe that's why some of your sales have slowed down. Or do you have a lot of spring and summer? What do you think your ratio is in your closet? Is it mostly fall, winter, and spring, and then summer? Or do you have a lot of summer in there too? That could be one of the reasons why we've been having slow sales. And summertime, you know, people are saying that summertime is a slow time for sales, but I am wondering if, because people are on their phones all the time, guys. People are on lives everywhere they go. People are on their platforms everywhere they go. I really don't know that summer slowdown is because people are out with their kids having fun. I do think it's, I mean, moms are always on their phones, unless their kids are bugging them, right? Now, I don't mean that in a negative way, but people are always on their phones. So I didn't really know if summer slowdown is necessarily because people are out having fun in the sun, because people are always on their phones. It could be maybe what we're listing or what they're listed at as far as their price. Let's maybe reevaluate that based on some of the things we talked about today. And maybe we can improve some of our sales based on tweaking some of those things. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, you guys, for all your comments. I love your feedback. And you guys have had some great feedback, and I love it. If you haven't been commenting, please do feel free to do so. Let me know what you think. And I love to hear your comments on any of these topics, you guys. Love, love, love it. And again, please do subscribe if these videos are a benefit and a blessing to you. I love hearing from y'all. Hit that bell notification so you know when we're doing boxings. I haven't taken the time yet to get my camera up and ready to go for when we go sourcing. I will try to maybe catch a little bit of video. We've actually been finding some really cool things My husband did some different types of sourcing this last week. I don't always go out with him because I want to make sure I'm getting my listings up. So sometimes he goes out without me. Although I miss going out with them because we really do enjoy going out to garage sales. So I'll maybe try and get some feed for that and share some of that feed with you. But guys, until next time, thank you so much. Please hit the like button on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.